Welcome to the Tucson Tasty Show. I'm your host, Wesley Source, here with Pastor John McLean of Veteran Rescue Mission, Common Good Radio, and Common Good Media Group. How you doing?
Yummy, yummy, yummy.
We have a special guest here in the studio today. We have Kiki Rogers, Country Financial Insurance. Tell us a little bit about Country Financial Insurance and how we can get a hold of you, Kiki.
Hi, guys. So Country Financial Insurance does offer all of your personal and commercial lines of insurance, home, auto, toys, and life and financial planning. You can reach me at 520-848-5003.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Glad to be here.
Yeah, she rocks. And I think she handles, she's both of our insurance agents, right?
She is, yes.
Yeah. So,
she saved me $1,300 a year on my insurance between homeowners and auto.
It's always worth at least taking a look at it.
Yeah, I don't know how much she saved us, but we both, I think, had USAA at one time.
We did.
And USAA is like outstandingly cheap in comparison to the rest of them. Yet Country Financial beat it. So just know when we're telling you should give Kiki a call, we're not just saying that because Kiki is an awesome supporter of our show.
Absolutely.
But we support what we're talking about. Like, we believe in in her. So
I appreciate that very much.
All right. Well, today we have not one but two Tucson's top chef, creators and hosts of the culinary competition that shocks and delights the senses. The Tucson Knife Fight.
Shocks is the main one.
Chef Gary Hickey, executive chef of Charo Steak and Flores Concepts, and Chef Mike Elefante, co-owner and executive chef of Mama Luisa's. Welcome to the Tucson Tasty Show.
Thanks for having us.
Man.
Get it. Yeah, thanks for having us. This is way better than Chris's show.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Yeah, I gotta get to the restaurant at like 5 o'clock in the morning for Chris's show.
That's hard. That's hard work right there for sure.
We love Chris, though.
Yeah.
We're glad you took the time to be here, though. This is great.
Yep.
And I love that intro. I mean, for one, I didn't realize that you guys were the Tucson Iron Chef guys, so that's super impressive. And having been to the Tucson Knife Fight most recently, I'm a little scared you guys are going to take our jobs because you definitely have so much more charisma and personality. And two, it's just such a unique, authentic event. It's brilliant, and I really definitely look forward to hear more about it and kind of digging into it and having a bite, pun intended.
Of course. And of course, we wouldn't be here without our sponsors. So a special thank you to Kiki Rogers with Country Financial Insurance, Vera Earl Premium Beef, ERCjunction.com, Veteran Rescue Mission, Pitcher Rocks, Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing, and Jason with Cool View Glass Treatments. Did I miss anybody?
I think that's good for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
That list is growing, though. I love
amazing
how people are getting excited about the show, and they're throwing their love and support. It's wonderful.
Yeah. It's blessed.
All right, so we have two very special guests, very special chefs in the studio. So let's talk to them. Chef, jump in. Tell us who we are, or who you are.
Tell us who we are first, and then tell us who you are.
All right.
It's been a long week.
My first assumption. Anyways, I'm Gary. Been a chef here in Tucson pretty much my whole life. I've moved away a few times, but always end up back in Tucson. I think the last time was for realsies, though. So
Tucson has a way of doing that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've been all over the country, and I've worked for a lot of really good companies, and taught me a lot about what it is to be a what do they call it? Tucsonan? No.
Tucson?
Proprietor? Proprietor of business?
Entrepreneur.
Anyways, I'm going to pass it over to Mike.
I'm Mike Elefante, chef and owner of Mama Luisa's Italian restaurant. Been around not as long as the Charo Concepts, not as long as El Charo, but we've been around since 1956.
Wow.
Still doing our thing. And then we have the food truck, Guido Q, which is kind of like an Italian take on barbecue, competition barbecue, all that kind of fun stuff. So
you were telling us a little bit about that before the show. I'm super excited. I actually have a Traeger, and I cook amazing brisket. So we'll have to do something with that. Maybe a smoke off.
Yeah,
we've been talking about it like every week.
Traeger's where it's at, man.
Yeah.
It's if you're not want to tend your coals every night, all night, sitting by the smoker, you just want to actually enjoy the company you're with. that Traeger's the way to be, man.
Yeah.
You can get, I mean, you can get it pretty darn close to what a traditional stick burner does, especially if you're not like a restaurateur or professional. Like if you're just a backyard weekend warrior kind of person, Traeger's the way to go. If you don't go that way, there's just no point.
Yep, I smoke my briskets for 18 hours. I set it the night before and go to sleep.
Now you got to get on the hot and fast train.
Yep. What is that? Hang on.
Hot and fast. So traditionally they started hot and fast with competition barbecue because otherwise you'd be starting right when they inspect your meat.
Right.
So they developed this hot and fast approach where you start with about 6 hours smoke, and then you 425 it all the way through till it's done. It's done in like another 4 or 5 hours. Wow. And it's really good.
Is it?
It takes time to learn it. Oh yeah. You don't trim as much of the meat off, and you cook it upside down.
Okay.
So you cook fat side down on it.
Whoa.
But man, once you learn it, it's a game changer. Takes you from 18 hours to like 9 hours.
Game on.
Yeah. I expect to hear back on that one.
Yeah. No, I'm going to look it up. And one of the cool things about the Traeger, though, is that you can set that all up beforehand. So it'll go right into it for you.
Yeah. And you can take a nap.
And you can take a nap.
You get a full night's sleep.
I roasted a whole lamb a couple years ago for Easter. And what a pain. I mean, just you're always out there moving the coals around and everything else. So, yeah. No thanks.
I want to spend time with my fam and my friends. That's it. No more of those for me.
I was told I was doing it wrong by my grandmother. We call her Yaya because she's Greek, and she's one of the best people on the planet. Yaya, if you're listening. But she told me I was doing everything wrong, and then I was pretty sure that she was talking about the ouzo. She's supposed to be drinking the whole time. I guess I don't know. I screwed something up.
Did she approve at the end of the day?
Huh?
Did she approve at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Oh, there
eventually,
you go.
Yeah. I don't like well done lamb, and she does. But
okay.
So we had a difference of agreement there. But I threw it all back on the grill.
Makes sense.
All right. So tell us a little bit about what knife fight is. I mean, I brought it up a few times, and it just
it's
I don't think I can.
It's what we do when we have a conflict with somebody. We get out our knives, and whoever wins is alive, right?
Yeah. Knife fight's kind of it's a cooking competition with a cause. So we Michael and I both have been nominated and ran for the Iron Chef Tucson. He actually competed 1 year, but there was when it was owned by a different media company, it was just they treated the talent really terribly.
Really?
No concessions. I mean, we did meet the chefs once, and they wouldn't even let him use his thing to cook pasta. It's Mike. What are you doing? He has to make pasta. Anyways, so Knife Fight was kind of our response, more of a community orientated, more raw version of that, and it was actually a lot of Mike's ideas, and the first one was kind of we pushed a couple guys that used to work together, but then they had a little bit of beef on social media, and we were like, you guys should do this, and
you should duke it out,
you guys, and we set it all up, and then we ended up raising one of the guys that was in it. His daughter has this weird health condition, but he ended up bowing out at the last minute, and Michael actually stepped in and with no training or whatever.
The show must go on.
The show must go on. So he stepped in, and the first night I raffled off my pocket knife and like a wristwatch or something. Wow. It was so organic. We had nothing planned. Like it was awesome. It was on the patio of Pasco, which is no longer here, but and I think we had maybe 10, 15 people at the most, and now it's kind of just morphed into its own entity. It kind of takes over our lives for 9 weeks out of the summer, and and we love the Tucson has just been wonderful with it, and we've been well received. Phoenix has one. There's one in Albuquerque that started up. There's one in Portland.
Portland talked about starting it too. I'm sorry. Yeah, Portland had reached out too. So they're growing. They're gaining popularity. The main thing though that we kind of designed it for too, the whole cooking for a cause thing, was based off of the money that we raised that first night that we did it. We gave to the cook who couldn't compete, and to help pay for some of the medical bills for his daughter.
Right.
So in the restaurant industry, we get a ton of businesses that hit us up and are like, hey, we need gift cards for our charities, we need donations for raffles, we need all this stuff, right?
Right.
But yeah, food to the radio station. But
who would do that?
The food and beverage scene doesn't have anything like that. We don't have anything that we can help our own people with. Yeah. So, the big brainstorming idea that we were like, okay, we're going to do this, but we're going to do it for our people, and that's why it's on Monday nights. That's an industry night, all those things. But all the money we raise for Knife Fight goes back to people in our industry who need help. So whether they're dishwashers who need help getting somewhere, car repair bills, single moms who need, diapers, formula, those kind of things, we give them money to help, pay those bills, alleviate their stress, and kind of get them back on their feet and able to kind of continue to bring in an income for their households. So
I love that. That's great.
For people who want more information about Tucson Knife Fight or want to plug in, how can they get a hold of you guys?
On Facebook is the main one.
Okay.
Tucson Knife Fight. Just Google that, or not Google it, but Facebook it. You'll see it on there. And then we also have an Instagram as well.
Okay.
And all the information is on both of those.
And it's every Monday evening?
Yeah, Monday nights starting at 8. We go from 8 till usually about 11:30, sometimes 12, depending on how long it goes.
Perfect.
Showboaters. Yeah, depending on how long we gotta fill
Who
time.
would that be? Yeah.
Depending on how long it takes them to bring their carts out.
We'll
9
be back.
weeks, so does that go to an end date?
I'm Wesley Source with the host of the Tucson Tasty Show. We'll be right back with our special guest, Kiki Rogers, and Chef Gary Hickey, Chef Mike Elefante. Thank you to our sponsors, Vera Earl Premium Beef, ERCJunction.com, Veteran Rescue Mission, Pitcher Rocks Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, and Jason of Cool Glass Window Treatments. Here's some more from our sponsors.
Oh, wait, I'm not a singer. Welcome back to the Tucson Tasty Show. This is Pastor John McClain here with the one and only Wesley Source. We got Tina Source, the photographer, there in the corner. She doesn't speak, so you won't hear her voice, but she's here. And we are here with Chef Gary. Well, actually, let me read their names because I don't know them. I mean, Chef Gary and Chef Mike. They are with the Tucson Knife Fight. And then we also have Miss Kiki Rogers without the D in her last name. Similar to Aaron Rodgers, except for her ankle and Achilles are just fine. It's very good. And Kiki is with Country Financial. If you didn't know, she represents me and Wesley. So I'd give her a call. How do they get a hold of you? They want to hold of you.
My number is 520-848-5003.
Yeah. And this is my favorite segment of the week. What is it, Wesley?
This is John's Tasty Bites, the place to expand your culinary horizons and try some new food from around town. Today, Chef Gary was very nice to bring in some of his bites from Charo Steak. Super excited to have this food again because I've had it so many times before. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, my pleasure. And I'm sorry I definitely teased you on Monday night about being able. We had our orientation for Taro Chico today, and I was going to bring a little sneak peek, but
okay, so he knew. I didn't know.
Yeah, I'm glad he didn't tell anybody. So that'll all be a secret until we open. So,
tell us about the new place.
So Charo Chico, exactly what it sounds like—a small charo with a lot of flavor. We're going to be making our own tortillas, lots of braised meats, kind of an old school approach to cooking, kind of bringing it back to the basics.
Awesome.
Nice.
In a fast casual environment. So we kind of took that existing space that Barrio had, gutted it, and rebuilt it. We put a bar component into it. Just ginormous salsa bar, so we're going to have like 15 different salsas every day. And
oh, wow.
Then we bought a tortilla maker, a big, huge comal. So we got the nanas in the back pressing tortillas. And so there's nothing better than it was like 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning, and just a warm, fresh tortilla off of a comal is probably like the best thing in the world.
And we didn't get that.
Yeah,
no.
you didn't.
So what did we get instead?
You got the best of Charo Steak and Del Rey. These are our top 4 appetizers. They've been staples on the menu since the albondigas is our very first dish ever. Before we knew what we were going to open up, we knew that we wanted the space, so we took the space without a concept in mind, and we were kind of playing around with stuff. And we were actually hanging the ceiling fans one day, and Carlota had sent to the original El Charro for albondigas, which is traditionally soup. And when they sent the soup over, the broth and the meatballs were separate, and she was just drinking the broth. And here, mijo, take the meatballs if you want them. And I went in the back, and I was sitting on the prep table, and Ray comes back there, and I just doused him in barbecue sauce. And he's like, "What are you doing? We got stuff to do." And I was like, "Dude, you have to try this." It was the very first menu item before we even had a concept. So we kind of built Charles Steak around this dish. And then we got our chorizo stuffed meatballs, green corn tamale, grass-fed chorizo, raja sauce, and some corn crispies. The michelada shrimp cocktail from Del Rey. And then, of course, I couldn't come on without bringing in the chimichangas. So little green chili chimis.
Outstanding. What do you want to try first?
All of it.
Yeah? I should have just brought a big, like a tortilla. You put a little bit
just throw it all in.
Eat it.
Yeah, let's start with the chimichanga.
All right.
Now, these chimichangas look beautiful. They're tightly little, they look like little egg rolls, but I'm from Minnesota. I'm getting used to a lot of this Hispanic and Mexican flair.
You want to try one of these beautiful shrimp?
Oh, sure. I'm watching John here, and for the radio listeners, there's peppers on top of them.
I try to eat it as loud as I can.
Right. Thank you, Kiki.
Smack the lips right into the mic.
That's good.
What do you think?
That's real good.
Are you going to go there tonight?
No, I don't need to. I have it right here.
He's not even going to pass it around, is he?
So, while we're passing this food around, Chef Mike, can you tell us a little bit about Mama Luisa's? I mean, a little bit rundown. I mean, you gave us a little snapshot, but tell us about the menu. Tell us about what I grew up in that neighborhood. I mean, I grew up down the street from your restaurant, so it's definitely one of the pillars in my life at a young age. I mean, I went there for prom, so it's definitely one of the problems, not yours. Sorry, Tito.
Trouble.
Much what you
You're gonna
say
kick
when your
me out
wife
of
is
the house.
around.
Yeah, how do you feel about your wife being here in studio again?
She listens anyways every week, so that's what we do after the shows.
Critique you. That's good.
All right, so I'm going in. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mama Luisa's was opened in 1956, right on 29th and Craycroft. We've been in the same spot ever since. My family bought it in 1973. They moved here from Brooklyn. So it's as time's gone on, we've added a lot of different things to it. We're going on, I think, year 68 of the restaurant, pretty close to it. Or
Wonderful.
69, almost. That's a long time. My math's not very good right now.
Well, you're a chef, not a mathematician.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
right.
You're good.
But we're known for our homemade pasta. So we make close to 120 to 130 pounds of pasta every single day, from linguine, fettuccine, lasagna sheets, shells, rigatoni, spaghetti, manicotti. We make all that every single day. We do about 45 gallons of homemade tomato sauce every other day as well. And we age it 2 days just to make sure that all the flavors marry. So it's a very traditional New York kind of, Chicago style Italian American food. We used to do pizza a long time ago, but then when I came back and I just really wanted to focus on the pasta, and that's what we're known for. That's what people come for. So by doing that, it allowed us to really get back to the roots, condense the menu down. And now we have 2 menus at the restaurant. They're all there's the heritage menu, which is the last 68 years of the restaurant, and then we have the 3rd gen menu, which is kind of my stuff, where I don't have to put red sauce on everything. I can kind of do my own thing. So if I want to change it seasonally, or if I want to change, just play with stuff, there are things I can play with where they're the heritage menu is things I don't change. Those are the staples: Joe Special, chicken parm, fettuccine Alfredo, those things stay what they are. They stay true to Mama Luisa's. And then kind of the ways I'm feeling as I'm cooking, I can kind of change on the 3rd gen menu. So
I love that you're bringing in that modern flair without losing the respect and love for what has gotten you guys 69 years of, being in the community.
I mean, if I got rid of Joe Special or changed it, there's just no point even having Mama Luisa's, right? So I mean that's what pays the bills, and it's really cool to see. There's not too many places here in town where you can get 4 generations of people who have been coming into that restaurant since the beginning and all eat the same thing. there's kids who, the great grandkids are eating Joe Special, with their great grandparents are, eating Joe Special as well.
It was actually one of my grandfather's favorite places to go. So definitely understand that. How long do you cook your? Speaking
We're
of eating,
off today. I'm sorry. No, I was going to say, you guys are diving into those meatballs right now.
I'm not talking with my mouth full, I promise. How long do you cook the spaghetti sauce for?
Spaghetti sauce
professional
does between 6 to 8 hours. We do it in a big steam kettle jacket so it doesn't burn. You get a really nice, slow simmer on it. Cooking times vary depending on how much moisture is in the tomato, because you really want to cook those down, kind of sweeten them up a little bit. We don't add sugar to our tomato sauce. My grandma would slap me upside the head if I did. So I don't feel like having that happen, so I stay true to it.
Outstanding, thank you. You want to tell us a little bit about our Del Rey Charro steak? I'm trying to get through this mushroom.
I don't know how I haven't been here before. Everything is just it melts in my mouth. I didn't think that food could. Every single dish on a plate could do that, but it's absolutely scrumptious.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
Meatball flavor is amazing with the barbecue sauce.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's just a match made in heaven. And it was purely by accident, kind of like the chimichanga.
Which was invented by El Charro.
Yeah,
right?
by Monica Flip. But
you got that sweetness of the barbecue, but it still has the peppery kick behind it, and both that heat and flavor.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me it was the stuffed mushrooms.
Yeah,
those stuffed mushrooms. I would I would do like bad things to people for them, and I'm a pastor, so I shouldn't be saying that on air, but it's been said. So God forgive me.
Yeah, I love the mushrooms because of the texture. There's lots of textures going on there, which is kind of a cool thing. So yeah, I mean, Charles Steak was the brainchild of myself, Carlota Flores, and Raymond Flores. A little over 12 years ago, Ray was diagnosed with cancer, and we put him on a pretty strict grass-fed beef diet. So he had nothing but grass-fed beef and Brussels sprouts for about a year, and it ended up beating the cancer. So,
wonderful.
Wow.
So we feature, that's what Charles Steak's kind of built around, a grass-fed beef program for that reason only. And then Del Rey came a little bit later, and we said, what's the perfect, marriage? Would probably be a seafood house. So we went all the way the other way and became partners with the Monterey-based Seafood Watch program. We're one of 14 restaurants in the United States that are part of that. So we only purchase all of our stuff is purchased off the green list. So it's all greenlit. Lobsters flown in 3 times a week, oysters 3 times a week. We try to buy from the 4 corners. So Pacific Northwest, the Gulf, Baja, and then of course upstate, just to try to get a variety on the board.
Perfect. So you got to do one thing for me before we go out, and it's got to be the introduction that you guys do, because I don't want to ruin it, and it's your guys' thing. So go ahead and do the knife fight.
What? Oh, like there's about to be a...
Yeah.
You might want to turn your speakers down for this one. But yeah, how we started. You ready?
You want to kick it off?
Yeah, I got to stretch a little. You always got to stretch.
Don't want to pull a hammy.
All right. And there's about to be a what?
Knife fights! And everybody, I can't wait to see you tomorrow, Monday, 8 p.m. at the playground. We're going to be upstairs, I believe, on the patio, which is super exciting. And you got to come out, and because when you buy a ticket, what happens when we buy a ticket?
You buy tickets, you win ish.
Love it.
Awesome. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us today on the Tucson Tasty Show. Thank you to our special guest and Kiki Rogers of Country Financial Insurance and Vera Earl Premium Beef, Veteran Rescue Mission, Pitcher Rocks Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, Cool View. I'm your host. Stay tasty, Tucson.
We'll catch you next time.